Hey guys, and welcome to day one, Mastering Virtual Backgrounds. I am so excited for you and just everything that you're going to learn in this course. My goal is to just make this a super quick start for you to have a professional filming area with a flip of a few buttons and some lights. And you can totally accomplish a professional background without having to have a super fancy space. And the cool thing is, I've been able to really master this. Let me just kind of give you a little backstory, just in case you haven't watched the beginning. But anyways, we live in a super small home and I just did not have the space to have like a dedicated area for my filming studio. So my filming studio or area is in my living room. And so it kind of doubles as a living room and an office and a filming area. So we're like maximizing it here in the living room. So nonetheless, you do not have to. I am like definitely the poster child for virtual backgrounds. And I was like, I just want to have a super professional background, something that's going to stop people scroll and catch your eye and make you want to listen and watch my video. And I was able to accomplish that with virtual backgrounds. So that's kind of the secret sauce in having and using a virtual background, is that it's doing so much other things in the background for you that you don't even realize. And so that's really how it's helped me to grow and scale my business a lot faster, and also grow my YouTube channel and just like get new recruits and sales, all the things. And so I want for you to have those same experiences. So, okay, so let me just kind of go over, give you a quick overview and a quick rundown of what day one's going to be all about. Okay, so for day one, the quick overview is definitely, we're talking about camera confidence. And a lot of times it's just a simple few little hangups that we have. And we're going to learn how to identify very quickly what our hangup is and how we can create a quick shift and get through it and past it and get the video filmed, and like at the end of the day, it's like, look, I just need to get the damn video done. Excuse my French. I don't think it was French, but you get what I'm saying. Like, we get so frustrated with ourselves because we're like trying and we want to look perfect. We want to have it all together. And, the fact of the matter is, when you're first starting anything new, you're going to have a little bit of a learning curve, and it's going to take you a little bit of time to adjust and get used to it. But you will grow and your videos will just keep progressing and getting better and better and better. So just know I've got a plan for you, and just a plan of attack on, getting through that little head stuff, if you will. And then also like how to dial in your camera presence, like how to show up and look authentic and be able to connect and create a connection with your audience through video. And so that's going to be the next thing that we go over today. And then last but not least, we're going to go over tools that you can use as a crutch, because sometimes it's just a matter of, look, if I have to create like some cue cards, a slideshow, whatever, or post-its, whatever, what have you, just do that, And so I'm going to get you kind of thinking outside of the box a little bit on, yeah, it's maybe a little bit of extra work that you may have to do, but just know crutches are not forever. They're just for a season. And you will get to the point where you don't need crutches, you don't need cue cards, you don't need whatever else tools that I'm going to be going over. You're going to get more solid and comfortable on that. Okay. And so, but just give yourself grace. Just like, take a few deep breaths and just be like, okay, it's going to be all right. God's got this. And so just totally know that you will get there, but you're going to have a little bit of, just learning and all of that fun stuff. But the cool thing about taking this course is this is going to cut your learning curve down tremendously. I can't tell you how many things that I had to kind of like figure out just to be able to effectively and professionally do virtual backgrounds, like to use a green screen. There were so many different variables in using a green screen and getting it to where my fingers don't look completely blurry. They're still not 100%, but that's just me being a little bit nitpicky. But that was one of the things, was I wanted to offer and have a professional video and something that just grabbed people's attention, and did that without me having to put forth a whole ton of work to get a professional looking studio set up and buy all the fancy things for my office and then get it decorated and all the things. Like I did not have time, energy, or space for that. And so that's why the virtual backgrounds are super important for people that do not have time, energy, space, and they just need a quick, like, look, let me flip on some lights, get a green screen up, and get the camera recording. That's all I need. So that's what day one's going to be all about, is helping you really build that camera confidence. And then we'll be jumping into the rest of it in the next few days. So let's go ahead and let me share my screen so that we can go over the first portion of this, of what I'm going to be talking about. And so, of course, this is day one. You can go ahead and turn to page 8. It starts, day one starts technically on 7, but I've just went over everything that we're going to be talking about today. Just a quick little overview, you know. And so today, like I said, we're going to get you comfortable on camera. And I want you to start thinking about, whenever you are filming and doing videos, I want you to think about it as the camera, like when you're looking directly into the lens, I want you to think you're talking to your best friend, because at the end of the day, we're helping, like, all of our viewers that's watching and our audience, they are our best friends, and they are people we care about, and we want to see them succeed, and we want to help them get over whatever hurdle it is that we're training on in the video. And so that's one of the cool little mental shifts that I had in my head was, look, the camera is my best friend. This is Mandy I'm talking to, my best friend. Her name's Mandy. And just for FYI. And so I'm going to talk to the camera just like I would Mandy. And just like if she were to be asking me, okay, girl, look, how do I use a virtual background? How do I use a green screen? And I'm going to just go through it and break it down, just that simple. And then when you're doing that, it's going to also help you to dial in your more comfortable, and you're going to come across more authentic, and you're going to come across like, you know, just supernatural. And that's what you want to capture on video, because that's what's going to connect people with you. And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, she's totally my person. I can learn from her. And, you know, she just breaks it down in a way that makes sense to me and how my brain thinks. And believe me, that's another thing I want to talk about is, you know, we're not everybody's person. And that was so hard for me in the beginning, because it was like, man, I want to be everybody's friend and I want everybody to like me. And, you know, at the end of the day, the reality is people are just not going to like you. Not everyone is going to love you and like you, and not everyone's going to vibe with you and be able to learn from you. And that's okay, because they're going to find their person. And so, like, don't let that get you down. Don't let that discourage you, because it's just, that's how it is. And, you know, just, it's okay. It's cool. So let's talk about, what is the purpose of video? Like, what is it that we're trying to achieve and accomplish in when we're doing a video? So first and foremost, we want to entertain our audience. We want to inform our audience, and we want to, number 3, build our know, like, and trust with our audience. And the really cool thing is video does that, and it does it super fast. And people start getting used to how you structure your videos, how you open, how you close, what your, you know, quirks are, what, you know, all the things about you. And they are going to start, like, that's something that they're going to get familiar with. And so they're not going to think twice after you've done, you know, done so many videos. And this is why this helps you, not only just on a professional, like having a professional quality video, but it also gives you a little bit more, you know, they're going to trust you. Like, so if I'm offering basically all of this free content and just helpful content, great tips, quick tips, actionable tips, things that you can kind of implement and get quick return on, and you can see it working and instantly helping you, they're not going to think twice about buying something you sell, or buying a course you sell, or a product, or whatever. And even signing up under you, if you're a consultant with a direct sales company, if that's your niche and what you do, or if you are, say, like a real estate agent, and you're giving all of these great tips. I have a consultant, she's on my team, but she's also a real estate consultant, and she seriously gets her thing. Like when it comes to real estate, I'm like, that girl rocks. She has like these great, beautiful, like graphic images of what she's like with little tips whenever you're selling your house. Like you're going to do this and I'm going to have you do that. And, this is what a real estate agent's looking for whenever you're asking for this, this, and this, and blah, blah, blah. Like she breaks it down like nobody's business. And for somebody who real estate is definitely not my forte and it's not my expertise, I'm like, I don't even know where to begin and where to start when it comes to buying a house. All I know is what I like when I see it. But all of the behind the scenes kind of stuff, I'm like, I have no idea. And so, but watching her feed on Facebook is like just great. And between that and Instagram, and I learned so much from her post. And I'm thinking, you know what? Like whenever I have a question about financing my house or purchasing a house, if we, move somewhere where she could help us, I wouldn't think twice about hitting her up and asking her, because I've watched her. She's built her know, like, and trust. And I'm seeing like, does she know what she's talking about? And so like your audience is going to try you out, like date you for a minute and see if you really kind of know what you're talking about, or if they can follow you, if they're getting helpful stuff from you. And all of that grows just like crazy over time. It's just insane to see it. And so just know and remember that the three purposes of your video is to entertain your audience, to inform your audience, and basically train them on whatever it is you're wanting to train them on, and give them quick actionable steps, and then to build your know, like, and trust with them, so that you become a household name to them, so that whenever they think about getting on Facebook, they're going to be like, oh, I wonder what Shamecca posted today, or I wonder what the How To Entrepreneur posted. They're going to be really prone to wanting to kind of keep up with you. And then you better well believe whenever you do post something and they get that notification, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I want to see what all she's got, like, on her post. Like she's always got the best stuff, or the best little videos, or the best tutorials, or the best freebies, blah, blah, blah. So here is over the last 4 years of just basically videos whenever I started doing videos. And let me tell you, y'all, we all start from the bottom. Okay. There is nothing but growth from my video that I posted 4 years ago to now, to this, this day and time. And so you can see like I'm getting a little better as it goes. And it's kind of embarrassing. And so I've definitely linked these into the guide. You can totally pull up the PDF version of your workbook here and just click through here and you can get to all of these videos. But don't worry, I'm going to show you just a quick little snippet of each one, just so you kind of get the gist of what I'm talking about. But as you're going to see in these videos, especially this first one in 2017, I posted this video to my personal Facebook profile page. And I was actually trying to sell and recruit for my direct sales company. And I was doing a drawing all at the same time, man. Like, I mean, like I just packed it in there. And then the worst part about it was my background was super distracting because I had just things, just unorganized, and just kind of, it was a catch-all shelf that was in my office area. And so bookshelf kind of thing. And so it just caught, it catches everything. So then that's distracting. And people are like, well, what is that box? Or what are those straws, And so anyways, the gist of the video is it's like horrible, like bad sound, a bad video quality, poor lighting, and a horrible Wi-Fi signal. If that's not like the worst part of it, I mean, like, I don't even know. Like you couldn't even at a certain point, it got so pixelated, you couldn't even see the product I was holding up and talking about. So like when I say there's nothing but up from here, that was truly the case for me. And so I am definitely a poster child for we all start somewhere, and it's generally not, we're not like nailing it kind of thing when we first start out. So just know it gets better as you go. And like I said, I was trying to recruit from my profile page, and I was sharing company products on my page. And like I mentioned earlier, background was a hot mess. Now, there is nothing wrong with, trying to like using Facebook to recruit and using it to basically sell your products, but it's not exactly the way you think that when I say sell products and recruit on Facebook, it's not the way that people go about doing it. And I actually am like working on my next course, and it's going to be all about like how to sell on Facebook and all of that fun stuff. So be watching for that. You're a little bit ahead of the game. You got some insider information, if you will, because I have not like released that to anybody. And but that is one of the things that I am going to be working on, because it is a need that I see. And it's one of the cool things is I'm really good. What I found years ago is I'm really good, even in person, like selling product, because I'm going to go over, like, say, like if we talked, like if I came to your house and this was like our basic set, I'm going to be like, oh, you know what, like at the very end, I'm going to go and say, hey, let me give you a lookbook so you can check out all the things that we basically went over today. And then I'll say, oh, and here, back here on this page, this is where that basic set is. And so the cleanser, just a heads up, it does the 4-in-1, it like cleanses, freshens, exfoliates, and tones, and all of that. It's an all-in-one 4-in-1 step. And then of course your day cream, your night cream, and your eye cream. And then I'm just going to give like little, like little one-liners. And then I'm just going to start tidying up and cleaning up. And like I would do that in person. But now it's very different to what I would do if I was virtual. So I'm going to come maybe do a reel or a Facebook Live if I wanted to sell something. Say like I wanted to sell this foundation. I'm going to show you how I put my foundation on and give you like little tips and like a hack that you didn't maybe think about with another product. And so like, oh, mix these two products to get a flawless finish. And let me show you how, and I'm going to do a video and speed it up. And so it's like, you got to kind of think about how can I entertain, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to put the company name of the product's going to be covered up. I'm not going to have all of that on there. And anyways, this is not the point of this course, but that's how I would, of course, go about doing that on Facebook. And so we can use Facebook for, our business booking, for selling products, recruiting people, but it's not in the way that a lot of us think that we should do it. And so anyways, let's go ahead and see this little hot mess express from 2017 on my main profile page. And y'all, I left it up. Because I want you to know that we all start somewhere. So let me click here.
Here we are. And so the reason why I'm going live today is because I'm giving away some baked trio, not baked trios, but the baked cheap colors that Mary Kay had or has out. And these right here, it comes in a pink, and it also has like a built-in highlighter. And it the other one is a peach shade here. And you really can't tell as good as I would like for you to be able to. You're like kind of online on here, or maybe you can. I don't know. But this right here is for the ladies that I did a post a couple of days ago, which it's been a
Okay, so you get the gist of it. It was a hot mess express. It was me, basically, and I didn't even have a proper opening. It was like I opened this one with just talking. I didn't even like, hey, my name's Shamecca, and let me, we're gonna be doing a drawing today, and blah blah blah. Like, you would kind of give a little bit of background of what you're doing and why you're doing it and how people got entered and all of that. So, nonetheless, that was definitely my first video. And you know what? Apparently people, it worked to some degree, but it wasn't great. And that's not what I would suggest to do. I guess it was effective for then, but now with this day and age, there are too many people that are working virtually, and they are a ton of people that they're selling something, or they've got some kind of side hustle that they're doing. And so everybody and their mama is being pitched to right now. So definitely just be a little bit of be mindful of that and think about it and take it from the approach of, I want to be a breath of fresh air to my audience on Facebook. I don't want to fatigue them. I don't want to, frustrate people whenever they see my post. Let me get back over here to my workbook and let me kind of go over it. So then about 2 years ago, I was like, okay, I want to start building my YouTube channel and I want to have, videos on there. Now, there was nothing wrong with that. That's a great idea. And I had gotten a little bit better. I had an intro, I put a little music to it. But as you can already see, just seeing this right here, you see these black bars on the sides of the video. So basically what happened was when I filmed this, I wanted to really focus and get the whole scene of me cleaning the brushes and showing you and how you do it underwater, all of that. The problem is that when I used my cell phone and I filmed it in portrait mode, and that is not helpful. You need to, if you're going to post it to YouTube, you really want to be respectful of the platform, and you want to basically film it in landscape mode. That way it's going to look really nice and fill the, the screen whenever, or the video, whenever you are filming the video. And a lot of times the other thing that I was concerned with was getting, like close up, and I wanted to kind of get the whole scene, but I should have just worked on it. I should have done it in landscape, zoomed in a little bit, and did what I had to do to make it work right. But nonetheless, I took this route. And then you'll also see that I always tell people, do a dry run, especially if you're filming in a new area that's not normally where you film, because this was in a bathroom. And can we guess what happens in a bathroom? It is real echoey. Yes. And so that was the other issue that I had. And I totally didn't even think about that. And I was like, this is so crazy. So anyways, it was just really loud, like the water, because the mic was right there beside the water where it's, going into the sink. And so you're just hearing that. And so at, certain points, it's just like, I can't even really hear what she's saying because the doggone water is just going off. Okay. So let me kind of go over here just so you can kind of get the gist of this video. And I have a little intro, made this in Canva.
Hey. I wanted to come to you guys live and just show you how to clean brushes. And
okay, so as you can see, like I said, I mentioned it earlier, the intro was like, hey. And so really the best way to open up a video like this is, hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. I can't wait to show you my top 10 tips on how I clean my brushes and keep them clean and keep them all clean and without falling apart. Stay to the end for my number one tip. And be sure to stay to the end for my number one tip on how to keep your brushes from falling apart. Whatever you want to have them to have that cliffhanger to keep them kind of, like you want to keep them on the hook, so to speak. You don't want them to just come into the video and you give your best tip, like from, starting, like if you're going to make number one the best tip, then you're starting with number one. Don't do that, because whenever you're putting this, especially on YouTube or any video for that matter, putting it up on Facebook, they're looking at like as far as analytics and metrics and all of that of what Facebook's going to push out to other people and more people, or YouTube, whatever, is how long did somebody stay on that video? Did they watch the whole thing? Did they click through it? I mean, so all of that matters. And so that's why you'll always hear a lot of times when people are doing videos, they're going to throw that best tip or that whatever it is, that freebie that they're giving you, whatever, it's going to be plugged in at the end, because they're really trying to leverage making you watch the video and, go on to more videos of theirs and what have you. And so it's really strategic on how you want to open and get, set up your videos. So nonetheless, let me go ahead and fast forward here a little bit and so you can hear the actual water. It's like just the best part.
Are short on top, and it just, I don't have time to do it. But if you do, you can clean them
really loud, like that's all you can hear. So whenever you're in a like a space like this, if you're not sure how to kind deal with some of the sound or whatever, you can always Google it. But I can tell you right now, the quick, easy way, whenever you're in a room that's really echoey, or you have hardwood floors, or say like linoleum, or, tile flooring, you want to put down some blankets or pillows, just something that's going to help to absorb that sound a little bit versus just in there and with your tile. And, it's just because all that sounds just funneling and hitting the walls and bouncing. And so that's why it sounds so loud, even though it really wasn't that loud. I mean, it sounds that way. And the other thing, like I said, mentioned at the beginning, was keep this in landscape mode, especially if you're filming this for YouTube. And if you're not filming this for YouTube and you want to put this over on Facebook, you can totally do that. But you just want to be sure that if you're going to put this in a reel, one, you'd have to chop it down to, under, I think, 26 seconds. And it would then be in the portrait mode. But what I'm trying to just say there is, film it whenever you're creating it. Just keep in mind for what you're filming it for. If you're filming it for a reel or a story or anything like that, you're going to film in this portrait mode. But if you're filming it for like just a regular video, you're going to film it generally in landscape mode. So this one right here is what you're seeing now. This is me where I've got it really dialed in, and I want, take the time and energy to go into this video because we can kind of see, you could do that. But I've got it, I've got my background looking solid. I've got my sound going good, and, all the things. So I had the good lighting, the good sound, the good Wi-Fi signal, a professional background that was non-distracting. And you didn't just see a random family member or my dog or whatever walk through the background, because anything that distracts the person, then they think, oh yeah, I need to go cook dinner and, whatever. And then they just kind of fall off of your video, and then you've lost them. And so then you also want to keep your videos to where it's easy to follow you and understand you in the video. And some days that's like easier said than done for me. I mean, just truth be known. And so I do try, if I'm kind of sensing that I'm a little all over the place and I'm not doing too hot on keeping organized and a methodical way for you to follow along as the viewer, then I'm going to have to make myself some notes. And you better believe right now, I got a little bit of a perimeter around my computer, just so I'm not forgetting things. And, I'm touching and hitting on all the things that I need to be hitting on. And so right here was one of the most important things that I kind of learned and realized, had a realization with myself, was when I learned to show up in my videos as the real me and embrace my limitations or my preconceived limitations, I started getting true traction. And that's like that's the magic sauce, that right there alone. Show up as you. And don't feel bad for whatever you feel like you're lacking, or you're not as good as this person, or you don't come across the same way on camera, because at a certain point you will, and it will become natural. And so just know that you'll get there, and doggone it, just we're going to create a crutch for you to get you through it and get the video done. And so you can move past it, and you can just, that'll be a way that you're growing. You just know, like, look, I'm in my beginning phase. This is like the floor of the, of the startup here. So I'm not going to come out the gate swinging and hitting, home runs. And so just know it's going to take a little time and effort, a little trial and error, if you will. And so right here is the next portion I want to talk about, is getting clear when we're not clear, and on what's stopping us whenever we're trying to get a video done. Sometimes, I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes, like, I'm trying to film a video and I'm just, for whatever reason, it ain't happening. Like, I can't get it done. Like, I'm all over the place. I don't know if I want to talk about this, or maybe I want to mention this, or heck, maybe I want to put all 30 tips in there. And I'm like, okay, come on, reel it in, Shamecca. That's way too much information for one video. So we need to we need to drill down and get to the core of what's stopping us with video. So why are we just not able to hit that record button? A lot of times it's like it can just be like simple fears that we have of well, what's so-and-so going to think about me? Or what if I look stupid? Or what if I sound stupid? I mean, because that's a possibility, and that's okay. Because believe me, you will not be alone if you think you sound stupid. Because let me tell you, there are sometimes I'm like, Lord have mercy. Thank God for the edit button. And thank God I wasn't live. I can edit out the stupid. And so that's one of the joys of being able to pre-film, pre-record, and edit your videos. And you kind of come across like, wow, she's really put together. And you're really being, when you pre-record videos, it's just, I feel like it's a better use of everybody's time, because you're not like, trying to correct things if you made a mistake, or, trying to get all your thoughts together, or what have you, like just in a live situation, it's live and you kind of got to roll with it, and just, put the fires out as they happen. And so anyways, if you do find yourself stuck and you just can't hit the record button, I want you to do this little exercise here, because in this exercise, it's gonna help you get clear on where your problem is and what you can do to fix it. So a lot of times, these are questions I want you to ask yourself whenever you're all over the place, or you're just unclear, is what can I do to combat this fear? Is there a tool, an idea, a hack, etc., that will get me over this hurdle? Am I scared of what another person might think? Is that the issue? If it is, I want you to go like down here in these bubbles. I want you to just like start, brain dumping all of your fears, basically all of the things that are stopping you. You're just going to throw those all in this bubble, in these bubbles here. Okay. And then if a person has a negative opinion of me, what impact will that actually have on my day-to-day life? Will that affect your day-to-day life? If someone's like, oh, Shamecca sucks. Well, okay. First of all, yeah, it's going to hurt my feelings. But at the end of the day, I'm probably not going to think about it past that day. Now, if it's really ugly, I mean, you might get me the next day a little bit like, well, gosh, that was so rude of what so-and-so said, and most of the times, even if they do think that or say that, there are, what have you, it's not something they've said to you personally. So I just don't even like pay that no mind. I just know that, what, at the end of the day, it just does not matter. And if it is a person that, say, like it was somebody you went to high school with and you don't even really talk to them, but they're friends with you on your Facebook, delete them. Girl, get that drama off your Facebook. And so it's like, it's not helping me. It's not gonna be it's gonna irritate me every time I see the person's stuff come up, or what have you. Or if you do have people like that on your Facebook, unfollow, hide post for 30 days. I mean, there's these buttons there for a reason. Don't torture yourself. There's no need for it these days, And then also, just what am I actually afraid of? Like, what's stopping me from, hitting the record button? What's scaring me? What is it? Is it I stumble over my words? I say things wrong. I get words mixed up. I mispronounce words because Lord knows I got an arsenal of issues with that. But it's like, you know what? At the end of the day, I am trying to show up as me, and I'm trying to be as professional as I can, and helpful as I can. And I just have to know that this is my best and this is where I'm at right now, and I'm growing. And do I feel that I can handle the process, or do I feel that I can handle the outcome? Do you feel like, okay, I know I can get through this? Do you feel like it's too much? I can't remember everything. I can't get through this. Just this is just kind of make you dig and just jar your brain to just make you think. Do I feel confident in my abilities to perform? Do I think I can talk about the topic that I'm talking about and sound like I know what I'm talking about? Can I start, take somebody from, having a frustration with something to, oh, they actually understand how to do it now and they're excited. Do I trust myself to do that? Can I read a book, take a course, take a class, do a Google search or a YouTube search, to feel more knowledgeable about the topic? And 99% of us can do that. Okay. So it doesn't matter what we don't know. It's about, well, what am I going to do to fix the shortcoming that of whatever the shortcoming is? How am I going to hack that? That's always my big thing is, well, how can I hack that? How can I make that easier for me? And so that is one of my biggest things that I like to do. And so then once you kind of go through and just drill out all of those things and you got those filled all up in these bubbles, I want you to then think about, okay, what are the 3 most important things I need to get done today? Okay, so I need to film the intro of the video and the body. Okay. And if you can't get that done, I mean, be realistic with yourself. There are some days I'm like, oh my gosh, film a whole 45-minute video? What? No, I can't do that. But can I film a 15-minute portion of it? Can I break this down into like sizable chunks to where it's not so overwhelming and shutting me down? Oh, my background doesn't look great. Don't worry. We got that figured out. Like I've got that figured out for you. So we're going to get that, like whatever it is. And then like, so I need to film the video, or I need to outline the video. And first of all, what am I going to talk about in the video? What are my main points going to be in this video? And then 2, can I film the intro and possibly the body, or the first portion of it? And then 3, edit and then get it uploaded. And so this keeps me like dialed in. Okay, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm trying to accomplish here. This is what needs to happen. But then I got all this other crud and baggage, these bubbles in my head. And so you just need to get that junk out. And so that's what this page is for. That's how I use it. And I hope that it's as helpful for you as it is for me, because that was one of the things that I learned. If I just started like brain vomiting is what I call it, and just writing out like, okay, boom, boom, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I'm thinking. Move that stuff out of your head because it's renting space and taking space, and you can't think clearly or be creative or show up your best self if you've got all these other things and thoughts like going on inside your head. So just know that. And so this is just going to be an exercise just for you, just when you're a little crazy and you don't feel like you're not comfortable or confident enough in doing your video. So let's go on to dialing in your camera presence and how you can really get prepped and prepared for your video and show up and be more solid. So this right here would be a sheet that if it were me, I would print it out, possibly even laminate it because I'm a big laminator person. I don't know why. It's like, that's important. I need it. And so a lot of times that's how I generally do things. But this is going to just give you a few little tips of what I do, all my little tricks of getting myself, to get the video filmed. Think of your camera as your best friend. And you're just going to talk to it just like I would Mandy or whoever your friend's name is. You may even want to put a little sticker and just tape it right beside the camera on your computer, wherever your camera is, and just put your friend's name. I mean, it doesn't matter if it looks crazy. Half of what I do looks crazy. I mean, in reality, right now, I'm sitting in a room talking to myself and like having a full-blown conversation with a computer. But I'm making a video for all my friends. And so it's okay. Sometimes we're going to look a little crazy. Sometimes we're going to sound a little crazy, but it doesn't matter because it gets it done at the end of the day. And then number 2, of course, practice, practice, practice. If you read through what you're actually going to be going over and talking about, so like your notes, whatever it is that you have, or at least recite it, 4 to 5 times out loud, listen to yourself, watch yourself in the mirror. And, I mean, shoot, for that matter, like you see, I got a mirror right here on my desk. it just sits on my desk because I'm going to watch how I look, or when I say something, like my facial expression or what have you. All of this has been practiced. This isn't the first time I'm, saying all of this and going through this. And it kind of comes across because it seems like I'm a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more at ease with, training and getting through this portion of the program. Now, would you believe this is going to be like confession time here, that I've actually recorded this probably close to 30 times and probably have been working on it for 2 months to film just day one, this day right here. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting in my head and I'm thinking, oh, well, I sounded stupid, or they're going to think I meant something else, or whoa, doesn't matter. No. We're not doing that. And so do not get caught up on being a perfectionist. Whenever you get caught up in the perfectionism part of it, it's gonna start, zapping your creativity and really zapping the quality of your video, because you're going to be so focused on, how do I look? What did I say that right? Did I do this right? Did I change that screen there? And blah, blah, blah. You're going to be worried about so many other things other than the most important thing of the video, which is to entertain, inform, and build your know, like, and trust, and show people, like, basically be able to take them from frustration to hero. And so whatever their pain point is here, you've helped them by the end of their video get up here, or at least feel like, shoot, that's a good idea, or, oh my gosh, I didn't think of that, like, you've helped in some kind of way. Okay. So that is what the purpose of the video is. And if you're getting too far from a servant's heart, then we have lost perspective. Okay. So the next thing is chin up, buttercup, look directly into the camera, smile, and, talk to the camera. It looks okay. Like, I'm going to just do like a little example here. Say, for instance, if I was not looking directly into the camera and I was looking at myself over here in the right hand side here, and I was looking at myself like, oh, so anyways, in this video, I want to show you how to, just do videos and how to look good on videos. And so anyways, so you do not feel connected to me. Okay. Versus if I'm looking directly into this camera, it looks like I'm looking at you and it feels like we're having a conversation, and it's like you feel more connected. So that's why you want to be sure to look at your camera over here, and doggone it, if you have to, use Post-it notes and put it over your picture here where you don't even see yourself. And then that way it's not a distraction to you. Okay. And then the next thing I want you to do is loosen your body up and don't forget to smile and blink. Okay. There's this weird thing that happens when a lot of times that we're filming videos, we will forget to like blink if we're really nervous, or we will forget to smile. And so it kind of looks like this today. So, hey, you guys, I can't hear. So it kind of looks like this. Hey, you guys, today I'm going to show you how to do, I can't even do it. So, hey, you guys, today I'm going to show you how to do this and this and this and this. And I'm just going to look really stiff and uncomfortable, and I'm going to make you uncomfortable and stiff, and you're probably not going to want to watch this video until the end. So you don't want to be a robot. Okay. We don't want to be a stiff robot. So you want to just kind of like do a little exercise, do some shoulder rolls if you have to, just to kind of loosen your body up and, feel good. I mean, listen to like your favorite music before you go live, because that's going to put you in a good headspace, and you're going to come across like really solid and dialed in. Like it's just going to look like, oh my gosh, she really did prepare for this. She was expecting to do this today. And then also, like, just go ahead and own it. You are the expert. Okay. We may not feel like an expert all the time, but you are the expert in whatever it is that you do and that you're bringing to the table. Okay. So you know what you're talking about. Just get comfortable and do whatever you have to do and implement whatever types of things, crutches, tools that you need to kind of help you feel a little bit more confident. So, like I said, I wish you could totally see that this whole like setup that I have going on right now. We're gonna cut to this B-roll, but this is what my screen actually looks like. Okay. So as you can see, and of course I've got my water over here and then I've got my coffee over here. So just know it doesn't have to look pretty just to get done, but it does have to get done. So there is nothing wrong with using a crutch. As you see, I have them. Also, use and speak in your normal voice. I'll trust you more when you speak and talk in your God-given voice. And versus if you're talking like a valley girl or, somebody else that you follow online, if you're not being you, they're like, I cannot even listen to her. I don't even know what it is. I don't mean, like, why does she talk like that? Like they're going to start like getting distracted on how you talk versus like, what you're trying to talk, what you're talking about and what you're training on and what the whole purpose of the video was. So just trust yourself that you are a cool person. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with your voice. There's nothing wrong with how you talk. It's perfectly fine. And you are the person for your tribe. You're the person that can, like, your voice is the only voice that somebody can hear and learn from. So just get like more comfortable with that. And I'm not saying you can't like work on your speaking voice and things like that. Yeah, you can get more maybe dialed in or what have you, like if you feel like you say a lot or you have like some just bad uh like habits whenever you're talking, you can work on those. But I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect at the end of the day. People do not expect perfection. As long as they see that you did put forth an effort and it's just not a bunch of junk and jumbled up ideas, they're going to be genuinely interested in whatever it is you're talking about in your videos. And then also another really big thing was learning to film in segments. Holy smokes. Can I get a hallelujah for that? Once I started realizing, okay, you know what? I don't have to film it all in one day. Now, it would be great that I could film it all in one day, or maybe I do, but I take a break. I film the intro and the first portion of it, and then I go eat like maybe a snack, or I just kind of take a break to just step away, get out from in front of the lights and all of the things. And then this just kind of helps me like really dial in and get super, zoned in and focused on what I'm talking about, not squirreling as much. And so it's less editing I have to do, which is, a time saver. No joke. So like I said, it helps to break the task down to filming into bite-sized pieces because it doesn't feel so overwhelming. And so one of the most important things I can tell you whenever it comes to filming and doing videos is it is not about you at all. It is all about the material and content that you're providing for your audience and the results that they're getting from what they're learning from you. And if you're not, showing like serving your audience in a way like that, then that's where you need to really focus on that portion of it versus, oh, did I look crazy? Was my hair all over the place? Did my makeup run, or did my eye makeup do something weird? Like most people are not worried about, like they're not even thinking about the things that you're maybe concerned with in that video, or like most people, they don't even pick up on the insecurities or whatever it is that you were worried about in that video, because they're thinking about themselves, they're thinking about what you're saying, how they can apply that and what have you. And then also, and that just covers the last one, is it's about what you're training on. And so of course the last one I've done covered it. It's all about your content and what you're training on. So that kind of like, just keeps you focused on, okay, what do I need to remember when I'm getting ready to film? This is, like I said, just a good, like just until you get solid and comfortable on doing videos consistently and being in front of the camera and coming across authentic and really just building yourself, getting getting more solid and comfortable, this is a good little thing to just have, just to jog your memory, especially if you're like me. We all have like a bajillion things that we're trying to remember. And so this would just be something that I would either have printed off, or I would have it printed off hanging up, or it's in my binder for my workbook, and I can easily access it. Whatever documents you have that are very helpful to you, keep them in one spot where you know that's where those documents or these types of things are. I keep this, and it's easy for you to find. So versus whenever it comes to time when you're in the middle of trying to do this, you're not you're not trying to think, well, where was that that she mentioned in that video that I watched, or that training I did this. You know exactly where it's at. So you want it to, just be organized in a, so to speak, way, like an easy to find place. And then let's talk about the last but not least is tools that you can use as crutches until you do get more comfortable and solid in doing your videos. And so, like I said, we just did like a little, field trip of looking at how my actual screen is looking and versus what you're seeing right here. It looks like, oh my gosh, she's just got it all together. She's just going right through all of this content, and she's just flowing and what have you. And it looks like I've got it all together. And you do kind of want to look like you have your stuff together. But on this side of it, behind the scenes, you see it looks a little bit messy. It looks like good grief, her poor screen's about covered. And it is, but that's okay, because I've developed little systems. Post-it notes are my favorite, to just tack here and there so I can remember the things that I need. And a lot of times I'll pull them off as I go. If I'm like covering 10 points or 5 points or whatever for a video, I'll just pull them off, and that way I know, okay, boom, I got it done. And it's one of those like visual things. Of course, practicing whatever you're going to be training on or talking about in a video 5 times. I know it sounds crazy. It totally reminds me of like my third grade teacher, and her name was Miss Mays. And she used to make us write, if we had a race for chocolate, and you had to get 100 times tables done in less than 60 seconds, and you got a chocolate candy bar. Well, I love chocolate and I love a candy bar, but it was I'd miss a few, and then I'd be like, oh shucks, I didn't get it. And so whatever ones you missed, you had to write those that table like that. If it's 3 times 5 is 15, you had to write that 50 times or 100 times. So tomorrow you're going to remember it. And so it's kind of the same thing. It's a very elementary type concept of reciting something a few times and doing a run through of it, and actually talking and speaking it out loud, looking in a mirror, and just practicing it. Because the more you practice something, the more you start to remember, oh yeah, this is what I was talking about at this point. This is what, and you kind of know how to flow and, go present it. And so that's going to save you a lot of time and energy on the front end if you do that now, versus you having to edit out all of the mess ups. Believe me, I've done it both ways, and it's a lot easier to just go through it 5 times and take that hour or 30 minutes or however long it takes to do that, versus 5-6 hours of editing. So that's one of the things that I definitely, just want to drill home. And then creating a video outline. Like I have this in this packet, and in your workbook here, and you can print this out so that it's just easy for you to really, plan out what your video is going to be about, what the title is going to be, the intro, what your talking points are going to be about, what your closing is going to be, and if you have a call to action, what that's going to be. And you have all of that down so that whenever you're filming, you're not having to think of all of that on the spot. You've already got that. You've got that written down and ready to go. Okay. So being prepared is half the battle when it comes to a video. And then creating a PowerPoint. So a lot of times when I was doing parties, frequently, I would have slides to where, I was talking about, say if it was, the oil-free eye makeup remover, well, then I'm going to have a slide pop up about the oil-free eye makeup remover, and it's going to have all of my talking points on there. But I'm not just going to read verbatim from it. I'm going to give you I'm going to touch on all of those points and kind of go through it. But I'm also going to be able to show you, the product and demo it, so to speak, right here on camera, and not lose my place and be all over the place in my party. So that was why that was helpful for me, and why I created PowerPoints. Like, everybody, it was so funny. They would be like, oh my gosh, like, you created a full-blown PowerPoint just for your party or this. And it's like, yeah, because it's not hard to get thrown off like where you're at when somebody starts asking a bunch of questions, or you kind of go off on a tangent, just to kind of a side note to mention something about a product, and then you're like, oh shoot, well, where was I at? Or what did I need to say for this? Or heck, if I was just filming a video for YouTube, sometimes I just had slides to go through, and so that I had it visually right there. And it kind of helps the viewer like be able to see, like, okay, I'm listening to her talk, but also read what what you've got on the screen, retain it in a few different ways. They're reading it, they're hearing it, and they're looking at it. So it's like, it just kind of helps to get new information like a little more solid and a little better. And then also creating flashcards. That'd be similar to like post-it notes. But I didn't want you to think, oh, I gotta have a flashcard. I gotta just have post-it notes or whatever. I mean, you can just write you out like some quick flashcards and just go through that. And I mean, like, just use that, like, read from this card, and then boom, and then go to the next one. And then that way you have some kind of system, like ready to roll, like to get you through all of your points, versus you like just kind of stumbling and feeling all over the place. And then pre-recording your videos and scheduling them. That was like whenever I realized you could do that. And it's actually called OneStream, was what I was using to schedule my stuff to where it looked like I was live, even when I wasn't live. So it got to a point to where I had a lot of parties going on all at the same time. And I basically recorded a party and did like a video just like this, me talking through it. I edited the video. It was like boom, boom, boom. But it looked like I was live, and it was basically able to do work for me while, I mean, maybe I was down that day, or I wasn't able to do the party, or I was tired or whatever, because I have MS, and I had to find ways to work around my energy levels. And one of the biggest things was learning how to do virtual backgrounds and learning how to pre-record videos and edit and schedule them. And that will save you a lot of time and energy. And so, like, say, like, if I'm down for a week, that's okay, because I've got pre-scheduled content, or I have stuff that I did, like a bunch of batching on one day where I felt really good. I did a bunch of different recordings and short videos, and that way I had them, so whenever a rainy day comes, so to speak, or a tired day, I could just pull from that and then schedule it or what have you. So you want to be thinking of things like that are going to be helpful for you for your specific situation. My hang up just happens to be that I have MS, and so it affects my energy levels, and my treatments affect my energy levels, like the whole thing. Like, there's a lot of different things going on there. And the one thing that I had to get creative with was, okay, well, how do I hack that? How do I combat that? If that's the problem, how do I fix it? That's it. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to get done. And so that's the way I want you to think about whenever you're approaching doing your videos is, you know what? It doesn't have to look pretty on my side. It just has to look good on their side. And I can kind of work through whatever I need to use to do my video with. And then, of course, I use dry erase boards too with Post-its. And I don't know what it is about using a dry erase board and then having the Post-its on there. I don't know if it's just the stark white background and then having the Post-it, but that is very visually helpful for me as well. So, I mean, it may be something like that, but play around with different ideas, because what may work this time won't work maybe the next time for you. And sometimes it's like, it just depends on where I'm at in my process. Like if I'm right after an infusion, I know that my brain is not going to be there. I'm going to have the cog fog and I'm going to be a little slower on processing. And, so doing a slideshow was probably not going to be my easiest thing in that moment. I'm just going to need to make some quick little post-it notes. Okay. And so just know, even though it's a crutch, it's a tool you can use for temporarily. It's not something that is forever. Okay. So that concludes day one. That's everything in a nutshell. And I just hope this gives you a little bit more perspective on how I go about, tackling just being a little bit more confident on camera and getting a little bit more solid and getting my appearance and everything dialed in, just on camera, because it is different. It's not normal to sit and talk to camera by yourself in a room with, ton of lights. But nonetheless, this is the time that we're in this day and age, and we kind of have to adapt to some degree, and we don't want to not move with the times, and we want to make it work for us, not against us. And that was my biggest thing, was even pre-COVID, like I knew just with my health I needed to find a way to go virtual. I could not travel to people's homes anymore. That was just too demanding, and physically for my body, that was not something I was going to be able to keep up and keep doing. And it's like by the time I load and unload a car 3 to 5 times a day during that day, I mean, heck, that's a lot of time and energy that was wasted, that if I had done a video or 3 videos, I mean, for that matter, it would have just, given me so much more mileage. So I want you to think about, that's what you're buying yourself, is more time. And, but it's also duplicating you. So keep that in mind whenever you're creating videos. That was one of the biggest reasons I initially started my YouTube channel, was I had a team that was growing, and it was like I was answering the same questions over and over and over again. And I was like, doggone it, I'm not going to keep answering the same questions over and over again. Let me make a new consultant playlist. And here's all the same questions that's going to be asked at like whenever a new consultant signs up, or whenever, they're doing this with inventory or what have you. Get systems in place that work for you and versus working against you, and that's going to help you scale your business a lot faster and be a lot more productive. So I want you to just take a look at the homework day one. This is just print off your brain dump worksheets, so that way you have them in a place where you can easily access them, instead of, like I was talking about earlier, trying to search and remember where they're at. Sorry if you hear my dog, he's going a little crazy. But he gets that way every now and then. But nonetheless, just have them in a place that's easy to access, and you don't have to print off a ton. Just have enough to where, like maybe 3, 4 of them, so that you can easily access them. And then think about 2 tools that you're interested in using or implementing to help you with video, and definitely take the time to do that exercise where you're doing that brain dump, and like what I like to call brain vomit, because clearing that space out of your head will help you to be able to work through getting a video done a lot quicker and faster, if you're not worried about all these other things that's going on in the background, so to speak, while you're trying to film here. So, and if you haven't already, be sure to print your binder off and all of that fun stuff. And we are done. That is everything for day one. And like I said, I am so excited for you. And I want to know if you had any ahas. Go over to our Facebook group and just go under the aha section, hashtag aha, and just type whatever might have came up today that was like, doggone it, like that's amazing, or that is so helpful. I don't know why I didn't think about that. Like that is just like the most like rewarding thing for me, is to just see what you're getting out of it. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to go to the hashtag question area in our Facebook group, and definitely be sure to ask your questions and I will answer them. Don't just post it in the feed. Be sure to search out the topic hashtag question, so that way I don't miss your question and I'm sure to get it answered. So, and anyways, I'm just so excited that you have invested in yourself and you're trusting me to help you kind of navigate this whole virtual background world and scene. And anyways, I cannot wait for tomorrow. So until tomorrow, I will talk to you later. Bye.